It was a KARE 11 weather impact morning, and the impacts were definitely felt for a lot of you, especially if you have little kids. We had a ton of school closures, cancellations, and we had delays out there from the extreme cold warning that went until around 10 o'clock. Now, it is still going to be cold, but this morning's low was down to minus 45 across the area. Actually did see Willmar this morning have a low of minus 44. Now that's the wind chill factoring in there. So let's take a look at the below zero days. Are you sick of this yet? We'll take a look at this month to month. So you've got the average on the bottom. Now the average in Minnesota, take it with a grain of salt. Some years like last year, you have very little, and other years like 96 or 2013, you double these amounts. But this year has been cold, and we can confirm that. We average not many or zero in December. In November, we didn't have any. Now December, we averaged 4. December did not start off that cold. It was only 3 sub-zero mornings. January came in at 12. Almost half of the month in January was below zero. That's quite a bit. That's substantial. On average in January in Minnesota is cold. We average 9. Here's where it starts to really add up. We are now at 10. 10 days in February. We only average 6 sub-zero days. March, we only average 1. I don't even know if we'll get to the 1 this year. But again, I think this number continues to grow. We're already well above average this year for days below zero. We've added this morning, which I counted. We will add tomorrow, most likely Thursday, and probably Friday. You got 3 more. I think February ends up with the number 13. And then that's probably going to be it. I think we're going to warm up. So how about that? Now, yesterday, we had a very cold morning, obviously on Monday to kick off the week. Temperatures this morning were about 1 to 5 degrees colder than Monday. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot, but when you were talking about a 36 below zero wind chill Monday, yeah, even colder yet is pretty remarkable. Low temperatures across the metro, minus 14. I was actually surprised it wasn't lower because I had a lot of people online. I had Prior Lake at minus 20. We had a lot of spots even around the Twin Cities at that minus 18 and minus 20 mark. That is significant because our record low cold for this morning is minus 21. So we aren't going to make it there. Maybe it goes to minus 15 when all said and done. But again, minus 14 is what it's at. You can see Willmar minus 26. Very, very cold out there. Pretty much most of the state was at minus 20. Hayward, Rochester was even colder than the Twin Cities. For whatever reason, the Twin Cities only got to minus 14. Now, we had those winds here this morning. Winds were lighter than forecasted by 3 miles per hour. I had winds at 10. They were at 7, 8. That doesn't seem like a lot, but trust me, it is. The wind chills this morning, 30 below zero. And 42 below in Willmar. Even St. Cloud was at about 40 below zero. Bitter cold. And when you factor in the areas outside of the metro, like I said, Prior Lake, Blaine, looking at those wind chills, even Maple Grove, they were around 35 to 40 below. So even the Twin Cities outside of actually the airport was about 35 to 37 below zero in areas like Blaine and Maple Grove. Look at the morning low temperatures, though, out in Bismarck, 32 below zero. 32 below zero. How in the world can they be about 20 degrees colder in Bismarck than here? Can you imagine? This morning we canceled school. I don't even know what you do at 32 below. What happened here is you've got this ball of cold air. How do you know that it's a ball? Why do I say ball? Because look at Yellowknife. It's at 11 below. And, well, Alaska's at 33 above. My goodness, Alaska. But the cold air actually comes in as a ball, and it rolls in like this. So when you get out of this, you actually warm up. That's why we're starting to see Fort McMurray and Yellowknife not as cold. This will pivot down towards South Dakota. It is not going to crush Minnesota. In fact, it will just graze Minnesota, and that does matter. So while we're talking about extreme cold wind chills, and it is extreme cold, it's hard to believe it. It could be a lot worse. If this high was here in Winnipeg coming straight south, it would be a heck of a lot colder. So we've got that impact through the morning. But again, as we go into the afternoon, look at noon, we should get to minus 3. Now, if we can break at 2 o'clock today, 0, it looks like our streak of below zero temperatures is going to end at around 40 to 42 hours. Obviously, depends on when we actually break this, but it'll be over 40 hours straight below zero. Because yesterday on Monday, we did not break that. So again, look at the wind chills though. So this morning's wind chills was at minus 30. That's dangerous. By the time we get to noon, it's minus 18. By the time we get to 2, it's minus 15. That's still very, very cold, but it's not at the dangerous levels. Again, wind chills, frostbite. There it is, the word. Frostbites will not set in nearly as fast at -15 as it will -30. Again, it's set up in about 10 minutes like this morning. That's why we had the impact for the morning hours. So again, you can see those unbelievable low temperatures this morning, but we give it to tomorrow. We go 24 hours from this morning, still going to go 12 below. So this is a forecast for Wednesday morning. 15 below in St. Cloud, 19 below. So you're looking at an improvement of about 3 to 5 degrees. That's it. So tomorrow morning, we're still there. The difference with tomorrow is we're supposed to see the winds lighten up even more. So the wind chills should not make it past 25 below, probably around 23 below though tomorrow morning. I just think most schools are going back tomorrow. The afternoon tomorrow is 5. So we are literally crawling out of this thing. So yesterday was -2 for a high. Today is 2 above, and then Wednesday is 5. So you're adding 3 or 4 degrees every day. So you guessed it. On Thursday, we're going to be in the upper single digits, maybe 10 degrees by Thursday. So it starts to get manageable. This is the big story. We know it's cold, right? You want some warmth? Not only is it going to warm up on the weekend, it looks like it's going to stay warm. What is the average high temperature next week? 32 degrees. What is it in 2 weeks? 35 degrees. So what does above average mean at 35? Well, if your average high is 35 and you're going above average, you're going to be in the 40s. 40s. Can you imagine that? So from 40 below wind chills to 40 above temperatures, it will feel like 80 degrees. But when you look at just strictly the temperature, and we'll use the Twin Cities low this morning of 14 below, unless somehow it goes to 15 below, which is possible. But we'll use 14 below. The forecast on Sunday is at 38 above. Okay, so we're talking over 52 degrees in an actual temperature. When you factor in the wind chill, it could be over 70. 50 degree warm up into Sunday. Everybody's going outside. It's like the zombie apocalypse for Minnesota and Wisconsin whenever something like that happens. I'm just happy for you. I'm happy for us. The kids losing their mind inside. You can only go to the pool so many times. All right, so there's the Arctic high we put on radar here for you. So snow lovers, I want to let you know what's happening with the snow. Arctic high pressure and snow do not match. That is literally kryptonite to snow, is this Arctic high. It pushes snow to the south, and look who's getting the snowstorms. You got snow all across the Rockies. You can see snow down in Oklahoma City, Little Rock, Memphis, and that's Nashville hiding behind our ice bug. So Nashville's getting snow. They're getting about 4 to 10 inches of snow across that region. Are we getting snow? No. Is it too cold for snow? Yes. And talking about the kryptonite, so I showed you that ball of high pressure. Where is it? Bismarck, Minneapolis, Pierre. And guess who's getting nothing through Sunday? Us. Absolutely nothing. Snow ongoing, embedded in here is 6+ inches. You can see Nashville at 5, Raleigh 6 inches. It has not been a year for snow lovers. I will tell you that, and that might not change. Next 7 days here, this is going to be an important 7-day forecast. 1 today, which we will break the 0 mark, which is going to be fantastic. -12 on Wednesday, 5 improvements. Again, this is a borderline impact day. I think most schools will go back tomorrow. They should, because again, temperatures will be about 10 degrees warmer, which is still very, very cold. Take it seriously tomorrow. Slightly warmer Thursday. I think this is the first time you're going to get up in the morning and be like, hey, I can move. -6 is like, all right, fine, I'll go to work. -2 is getting better. 8 on Saturday. That's why I think we'll end up with 13 days below 0 in the month of February, which is a lot. It's half the days. And then you can see Saturday and Sunday. I just look at this. And this is the deal. It's going to plateau here. Sunday and Monday, we don't just start cooling down. I think we'll hang out in the 30s for quite a while. Again, so it's going to be warm. And, we'll give you an update here on that cold air for folks that are just joining us. So again, we did have this morning that extreme cold warning. Here it goes. Look at this dark blue across the region. So this is this morning's low. We did have the low temperatures down to -45. This morning, Wilmer got down to -44. That was the lowest that I actually saw this morning. The below 0 days, how many of these have we actually seen? And there have been a lot of them. And now, average is always a tricky thing to use, because what is the average in Minnesota? Well, you're taking last year where we had like 0 days below 0, and you could take 1996 or 2013 where we had 60 days below 0. So it just depends, but that makes an average. Nonetheless, we'll use it. This year is 10 in February. We're already 4 above average for the month of February. January, we were 3 above, and we were 1 below in December. So no matter what, we're ending this year above average, right? Because March only averages 1 day below zero. And it just shows you that we're out of the basement, we're getting out of the basement, and we're out by March. Usually if you're going to go below zero in March, it's got to happen within the first 10 days, unless it's the polar vortex. But by end of March, the average high is 50 degrees, so we're getting there. Now I was comparing Monday morning to this morning because Monday morning's low temperature, actually the wind chill yesterday was lower than it was today. I saw 37 below in the Twin Cities on Monday. This morning I've only seen 33 below, technically at the airport. It doesn't matter, both days are horrible. But the actual temperature is 1 degree colder than Monday. Look at some of these temperatures though. It was definitely colder out there. Almost every place except for the random Alexandria was at or below your Monday morning temp. And Monday was not the greatest morning. And that put our lows at 15 below in Blaine. Actually, I'll rewind that here. I got the capabilities. I want to show you the low temperatures in the cities. So you can actually see this one. This one stands out to me. Osceola, minus 27 this morning. Are you kidding me? Osceola just bombed out there. So we went to 15 below in Blaine, 20 below in Cambridge, 15 below in Crystal. There's St. Cloud, minus 20 degrees up there. Super cold. The wind chills up in the 20 below zones got into the 40 below zero range. Twin Cities was around 35 below, depending on where you're at. But I saw minus 17 in Lake Elmo. Also had a buddy online tell me that it was minus 20 degrees in Prior Lake, and I did see his thermometer, so it just depends on where you're at. But yeah, most places at least 14 below. That was the warm spot. I guess South St. Paul at 12, but I didn't see many readings over 14 below. So you had the 20, almost 30 below in Osceola. There's 26 below in Wilmer. Same with Bemidji. Wilmer had that very strong wind and a 26 below temperature that got you to 44 below for the wind chill. Look at the winds though up in Grand Marais. Yeah, that's no good. 41 below up there. See 40s below zero here this morning. Wilmer 40 below. Twin Cities 30 to 40 below zero. You can see the Twins, St. Cloud got down to around minus 40. I mean, that's crazy. What's even wilder is the Arctic high. I love following the Arctic high because it literally comes in from the Arctic. And it's almost like you're taking a piece of it. You're just crushing off a piece of the Arctic and bringing it down. And I mean that because you can actually see Saskatoon and Bismarck are now 2 of the coldest spots in the world. And I don't say that lightly. That is the coldest spot because this is literally the Arctic air. Yellowknife is now minus 11. So you've broken off a piece of this and you're going to move it south. You're going to move it south through the Dakotas. Does the location of the high matter? Yes, absolutely. Because look at how much warmer we are. I hate to say it like that, but we're minus 14. They were at minus 32, minus 32 degrees. There are areas in the Dakotas at minus 40 for an actual temperature. Can you imagine that? So the impacts end at around 11 o'clock this morning. They will be done by noon. 2 o'clock will be at 1. That'll be the first time breaking the zero mark in over 40 hours. 40 hours below zero. I'm like, uncle, like we get it. 2 by 4 o'clock, wind chills at around 14, 15 below zero, 18 below at noon. So is this cold? Yes. Is it dangerously cold? Not for Minnesotans. We should be able to dress for 14 below. Now 30 below zero this morning, that's why we had the impact alert. That is dangerous. A lot of schools closed or canceled. At this point, I hope you know that your school's been canceled. You just send your kiddos off. Now tomorrow morning is going to be cold. This is your forecasted low on Wednesday. That Arctic high is still out there. It's going to be down in the Dakotas at this point. But as it gets closer, it loses the steam of the cold air. It also loses the wind, more importantly. So the wind shouldn't get our wind chills much lower than 25 below. It's still going to be very cold tomorrow. It's barely better. It is though, I mean 12 below instead of 15 below across much of the metro. And I know this sounds wild, but if Bemidji is only 14 below, that's 10 degrees warmer. So it's a start Wednesday, but I do want you to be prepared for very cold air. Now by the afternoon tomorrow, we'll make it to 5. It's not a warm day. Alexandria is at 0. Tomorrow is an Arctic day. It just is. Thursday and Friday will start to get out of this a little bit. You can see Thursday at 12, Friday at 18. The average high is in the 30s now. Okay, so the average high is about 30 here. So you're still 12 degrees below average. I really want to look at where we're at Friday with record-breaking temps through February, because I can tell you we are going to be one of the coldest of all time through Friday when you look at February. But the warm-up comes on Sunday, Monday. So we're probably not going to be the top 10 coldest of all time. Hey, enjoy the warmth on Sunday.